Much of Arizona's natural biological diversity is composed of non-game species, meaning wildlife that is neither hunted nor fished in a traditional sense. The Arizona Game and Fish Department's non-game branch was created over 2 decades ago to protect, conserve, and maintain non-game and endangered species throughout the state. This dedicated staff has even had the satisfaction of reintroducing several native species that had disappeared from Arizona's landscape.
Probably some of the bigger ones that come to mind are reestablishment of wildlife populations that at one time existed in the state and for one reason or another had no longer existed in the state, and we had the opportunity to bring them back. So things like black-footed ferret, the California condor, Mexican wolf, more recently our efforts with black-tailed prairie dog. Those are some of the highlights where you're actually putting Arizona kind of back on a more even keel with where it once was. Well, we were one of the leading states in the nation to have a first staffer on board, a member who was designated with the duties of doing non-game wildlife management. It was a concept that was in the works for a long time, but really got underway in the early 80s. In 1983, we had our first position hired on in the non-game branch chief position, and he was charged with developing the program. And he quickly turned that into an opportunity called the Arizona Wildlife Fund, which is a taxpayer opportunity to contribute funds and help support the program. The Arizona Game and Fish Department doesn't receive any general fund money, which is money that would come in from typical taxpayer input to the state economy. And we don't receive any of that at the Arizona Game and Fish Department. So this Arizona Wildlife Fund, or non-game checkoff program, is an opportunity for all citizens of Arizona to contribute to wildlife conservation in Arizona and have it out there for the enjoyment of all the citizens of the state. One of the programs we're looking to build in future years with this program is what we call our Watchable Wildlife Program. It's a little bit different than our typical activities that are associated with the Arizona Game and Fish Department. This is a non-consumptive use, generally speaking. It's not a harvested opportunity. There are just a lot of people in the state that just enjoy interacting with wildlife, and it may be viewing them from a particular blind, bird watching, a lot of the events that just people associate with their experience in the outdoors when they're not out angling or hunting for wildlife. We see that as an incredibly important part of Arizona's wildlife and a significant a program that's important for all the citizens of the state. I mean, a lot of people really value their interaction with wildlife, and we're looking to just promote that. We want people to connect with Arizona's wildlife. We want people to recognize that they value that opportunity, that interaction, and quite frankly, we want people to understand that the wildlife doesn't just magically happen. There's a lot of pressures on our species and habitats today, and there's a lot of oversight and management that's required to ensure healthy populations into the future. The Game and Fish Department is responsible for that. Personally, it's my biggest satisfaction. I mean, there's nothing more important to me than the future of wildlife in this state. It's just a beautiful state with an incredible diversity of wildlife. We have Apache trout, Sonoran pronghorn, the list goes on, and I'm just committed to seeing them exist in our future. I've got kids that I want to see enjoy wildlife, and I'm hopeful that the efforts that we're conducting out of our department here and through the generosity of the people of Arizona, that we can continue to have that into the future.